Do you want to improve at a quicker pace? Check out GITGUDRacing.com, where I'm offering the most accessible coaching sessions on the market. Now for the track guide. For turn 1 you want to brake late and deep. But to do that you have to reach 100% brake pressure. So the braking marker for me is the 50 meter board, but I'm not braking at a 50, I'm looking at it, but I brake, let's say, 2 car lengths before the 50, so I'm passing the 100 now. Now I'm in the middle, almost in the middle I start to apply the brakes, but I'm reaching peak pressure at the 50. So right now I'm 100% pressure. So to me, it helps to have a brake marker based on the threshold braking. So where is the moment that I'm reaching the maximum amount of brakes in this corner? It's the 50 meter board, is the 100% brakes, but I'm initiating the brakes, let's say, more closely to the 50, but almost in the middle. Something like that. I found this to be the perfect spot for carrying a lot of speed on entry. And once you reach 100% brakes, you really have to drop it quickly because you will lock up the tires since you have to turn in to the right. So picking 100 and then quickly dropping. And now it's important to trail brake a lot because this is a long corner and you want to apex late. If you're gonna apex at the beginning of the curb, you're gonna run out of track on entry. So in order to get the rotation needed for turning the car and also carrying the speed, you'll have to trail brake in the lower percentages. So look now on the telemetry, I'm holding like 15% brakes, dropping to 5% brakes, still trailing, and now here I'm back on throttle. So it's a lot of trail brake, as you can see in the shape. And if you don't trail brake this much, you're gonna have some understeer. Rotating it quite well, and by this time I'm already on full throttle and using all this curb. This is what you should aim for. And for the next corner you want to open it up by positioning your car on this curb. So as soon as this curb is almost ending, I'm braking and I'm turning at the same time. And I'm planning to stay as close as I can to this white line here for the next corner. So again, in the brake shape, you noticed a lot of trail brake. Now, in this phase, I just want to arrive at 100% throttle and push my car as close as I can to the white line from the outside, this white line. In this lap, however, I pressed the brakes a bit too early, and as a result I have this space. I recommend to brake just a bit later so that the car gets pushed more to the outside of the track. This will be the faster line. So going just a bit more before braking and then picking up the throttle. And it's important to not have this gap that I have here in between brake and throttle. You're gonna gain a bit more time than I did. Now, this is a big straight up until here, and for the next corner, I use as a braking point this exit road on the left. I want to brake past it, but it's very important to not brake before turning. So first you turn the car, then you brake, in order to carry more speed into the corner and also to have a bit more downforce for this right-hander. And the brake is something like 10% brakes. You just want to brake with the purpose of rotating the car, not with slowing down the car. It's just a brake and a downshift, and then quickly back on throttle using all this curb. And right now this is important because this road here, we need to follow the white line. You see that the road gets more to the left side. We need to follow the white line and open up, and as a result I'm turning and I'm aligning with the white line. So at the turn-in, I have opened the next right-hander as much as possible. I brake and I turn immediately after I reposition. So if I'm right here, the moment I'm gonna be parallel to the white line after the repositioning, that will be the moment that I'm braking and turning, like right now. It's important to get as close as you can to this orange curb. So to apex very closely to it, you will carry a lot of speed and you'll be able to be early on throttle, and also use a bit of this curb on the exit to carry the speed. Now the next corner is tricky because it's hard to find a braking reference. What I'm using here as a reference is the moment that I straighten up the car. So for example, right now I have steering lock applied, but there is a moment in which I feel I can straighten up the car if I want, like right now. It's tough to explain it, but for me this is the most consistent way of doing it. It's basically thinking, okay, can I straighten up the car if I want right here? Yes, I can, because I have this space in front. Obviously you're not gonna brake in a straight line, so the moment you're gonna apply the brakes, you're gonna turn. And there's a lot of grip here. This is a bit of a compression zone around this curb. So you want to go as close as you can to this curb, because this curb is gonna give you a lot of grip to be back on throttle. Unfortunately, for me, I dropped the brakes way too quickly and my right tires are locking up. And as a result, I have to delay the throttle application. So this was not a perfect lap in this corner. Right now, the tires are micro locking up. So at this point you want to be already back on throttle because of the compression zone. You can use more track, so almost going to the left part, because you have enough time with this car to reposition. You just have to go to the exit road on the right side, and before it, even before arriving at it, I'm applying the brakes and I'm starting to turn. This is a difficult corner because right now there will be, so initially you have some grip while you're arriving at the corner, but right here the grip fades away, and whenever you're gonna be on throttle, you're gonna feel it. So very gentle with the throttle, take your time to build it up. Also, there's a long trail braking because you want to make your car turn. If you're gonna drop the brakes right now, the car is gonna understeer. So be patient, still braking, holding the brakes, and then be back on throttle as close as you can to this curb, and use also this curb on the exit. So you can push it a bit more than I did and you'll be just fine. For the next corner, I use as a braking point the beginning of the curb, and I want to position my car on this curb. So I'm applying the brakes. It's almost 100% brakes. I can argue that you can reach 100%, but you have to drop it quite fast because otherwise you're gonna lock up. And it's important to use this curb on the left to open up the corner. So position your car to use the curb, apex as close as you can to the orange curb. It's exactly like the second corner that we discussed behind. And now just about staying close to this curb, pushing the car to the outside. And for the last corner, there is a dip here in the road. The moment the car dips is the moment that I'm applying the brakes and turning. So that's my braking point. I then trail brake up until the middle of this curb and then be back on throttle. Almost it's the middle of the curb, so back on throttle and trying to hold it as firmly as possible using all this curb. And it's important here to be early on throttle because this is basically a long straight. So the main focus in this corner is the exit, not the entry. You can brake just a bit earlier just to make sure you get a good exit. And don't forget to add the trail brake to rotate. And in short, that's a track guide of Zandvoort. I hope you have a great week ahead, and I will see you on the next one.